Bear with me now. First off, just like to thank everybody for coming today. I know how much it means to Scott and Wendy to be sharing this day with their closest family and friends, so I just want to thank you guys. Also, want to recognize Wendy's parents, Bob and Joe Northrup, for putting on just such an unbelievable wedding. It's just been great, guys. You know, last summer at Scott's engagement party, when he asked me to be his best man, it truly was the greatest honor I've ever had in my life. Because even though I have the honor or the title of being best man today, Scott's been the best man I've known my entire life. He really has. Now, it hasn't always been easy being Scott's younger brother. Mainly because the guy just sets the bar so damn high, I tell you. It's hard to follow. I mean, starting back at elementary school, this guy was student of the month every single year. I never won that award. He was class president. They wouldn't even let me run. Honor roll every single year in high school. Captain of the football team. I coach at Kennedy High School right now. Guy still holds weightlifting records there. Just a beast. Graduate of United States Naval Academy. I'm telling you, the guy just sets the bar so high, it's really hard for me, Steven, and Sam to match up. Now here he's gone again, marrying such a wonderful woman in Wendy Northrup, setting the bar so high. I gotta tell you, and I know I speak for Steven and Sam, that we are so happy to be welcoming you into our family as our first sister, Wendy Clark. We are so happy. We love you, Wendy. You know, I read somewhere that marriage isn't about finding someone you can live with, it's about finding someone you can't live without. And I'm just so happy that you guys have found that person in each other. So, like everybody, raise their glasses right now. Join me in a toast for Mr. and Mrs. Scott Clark. May they have a wonderful, long, happy marriage together. And may she carry on the Clark tradition of producing a wonderful, many sons. Daughter for my mom. Cheers, everybody. This is Sean Clark, ladies and gentlemen. It's now time to hand the microphone over to our maid of honor, Emily Ballard.
So Wendy and I have been best friends since elementary school. In middle school, high school, we went to college together, so we've been through a lot. And through the years, we used to write these really corny poems back and forth. And so I thought, what better time to write one than today? Wendy, oh where do I start? Maybe with a guy that stole your heart. Scott is amazing, as you obviously see, and you two are as perfect can be. I was sad when you moved far, far away, because I wouldn't get to see you each and every day. But you knew Scott was the one for you, and Cali bound, you then flew. What is better than sunshine, sand, and beautiful weather, topped off with you and Scott finally being together. Although I miss our coffee days and driving around town, nothing compares to seeing you sit here today in your beautiful wedding gown. Today's your first day becoming a wife. I know you and Scott will have a beautiful life. Congratulations, you guys. I love you.
Emily Bowers, thank you very much. One more big round of applause for Emily. Now, if Mr. North will come over, Wendy's father, we're going to have him say a few words also in front of the table. Let's hear from Mr. North, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, well, first of all, I want to start by saying thank you to everybody for coming today and welcome to the celebration of the marriage of Scott Clark and my daughter Wendy Northrup. I know we have people who come from all over the place. There's people here from Texas and North Carolina, and of course Virginia and Maryland, and I'm not sure where else yet. I want to thank everybody for coming. And I'd like to say for the first time, proudly say for the first time, and officially, I am now the father of the bride of Wendy Clark. So I just wanted to get that out. And I would like to give a toast, and I will get to that, I promise. But before I do, I want to just make sure that some people who work really hard put in a lot of hours to make all this happen, and I just want to acknowledge them. First of all, I came here with two brides today. I came here with my daughter Wendy, of course, and my wife Jill. And I want to thank Jill for all the countless hours, because I had absolutely no interest, and I had nothing to do with this. She did all the work, and I would come home and she'd tell me what's going on, and kind of get in and out. And that's great. And she spent countless hours with the engagement party that we had at Ed and Kelly's house last summer, and then we had an East Coast bridal shower, and all the people that you have to deal with at a wedding like this together. And I'd also like to thank Ed and Kelly Clark. They are the parents of the groom, Ed and Kelly Clark. And they're also the parents of the groomsmen, Sean, the best man, and Stephen and Sam. And I want to say this right up front about Ed and Kelly. They are a gracious and wonderful host. And we had a wonderful party last year. Every time we come out here to visit the kids, we always make it a point to stop and visit with Ed and Kelly, and I'm sure we'll be doing that for years and years to come. But again, a lot of work from Ed and Kelly for all the time that they spent with the engagement party last year, for the West Coast bridal shower, and then all the people that they had to deal with in putting this together. And I want to thank Father Reardon for a beautiful ceremony, for the blessing and officiating of the wedding. Thank you, Father Reardon, appreciate it. And to the bridesmaids, Wendy's friends, who I've known forever, and for all the effort that they put together in putting together the East Coast bridal shower, and all the work in getting out here. It's a lot. And I'd also like to just say to the staff at Old Ranch, if there's anybody here, this is a great opportunity for you, but you were great. Whoever the people are, I know Miss Smith and a few others, but they did an excellent job. And all the talking with Scott and Wendy and Kelly and Jill and everything, pulling everything together, I'm sure I've missed people. But I just wanted to make sure that I thanked everybody up front. And I want to thank God for such a beautiful day. I mean, this was just a picture-perfect day for a picture-perfect wedding, and for, of course, the beautiful couple. So, I got that out of the way. If there's anybody I missed, I apologize. Now, for my toast. Last year, we had an engagement party, and I found out for the first time, hey, you're the father of the bride. You need to give a toast. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to give a toast for an engagement party. So I went to the internet, and for those of you who were there, you might remember, I searched the internet, and there's a ton of information out there, except for the father of the bride. The only thing I could find from Emily Post in the entire net was, if you're the father of the bride at an engagement party, two things. One, try to stay sober. And two, try to say nice things about people. And that's all the advice they had for the men. That was it. And in spite of Ed's best efforts, I passed the sobriety test. He had me out there. And I've seen some familiar faces, so I don't think I offended anything. And if I did, they're not here. And so for Wendy and the toast for Scott, I'd like to start by this. Wendy was a preemie, and she got here a little bit early, and she got here just in time for Christmas. And I think that Wendy's whole thing was just to get here and get on with her life, because that's all that little girl's been doing the whole time. And I come home from work, and I was somewhat aware of these little people living in the house, but Jill can attest it. And this kid here was just had a mind of her own. So I'll give you a couple examples. We bought her a great big playpen. It was child-proof and all that, and I filled it all with these toys and everything. We put it down in the family room, and I thought, well, that'd be a great way to keep this little thing from getting hurt. And she got bored with it, and her little comfort zone, and she didn't like it, and she started to cry, and I came home, and I put her in it, no, she didn't like it, she's trying to climb out of it. And she just wanted to get on the other side of that net to do whatever it was that her brother Scott was doing. So we got rid of the playpen, and then so now she's out and about in the house. And then we bought her this beautiful little colorful crib, all these little whirly twirly things above it. And I thought, well, that's great. She's going to love this. And she hated it. And every time I put her in the crib, she would cry and she'd try to climb out of it. And it's impossible to sleep knowing that right down the hall there's this little 1 or 2-year-old kid that's trying to get up over the crib. So we got rid of the crib and we got her a big girl bed, and I cut the legs down off it. And the little 2-year-old toddler would toddle over there at night and tuck herself in, and we all slept happily ever after. And then when she learned to walk, our house back in Rockville has an alley that goes through the backyard, and it's a closed alley. It's really kind of just a walk path where once in a while you'd see somebody walking their dogs. And after Wendy felt confident about walking and everything, of course she got bored with the backyard and her little comfort zone back there, and she wanted to go out and explore the neighborhood. So I would offer to take her for a little walk up the street and down the alley. And she would jump at it. So just like, oh yeah, we're ready to go. So I'd hold her hand and I'd walk her all the way up the street. And when we got to the top of the hill, we'd make a little right-hand turn, and then we'd come down the alley. And so when you got a chance to get out of the backyard and discover the neighborhood, and discover whatever it is that you find in an alley. And I discovered that it was a great opportunity for Dad to just, go for a walk up the street and down the alley and talk to my little girl about whatever it was that was on her mind. It was, kind of over time, it became a metaphor for a talk with Dad. So anytime that Wendy had any things that were on her mind about college or school or careers or all that kind of stuff in life, we'd always have a little walk up the street and down the alley. And that was how we pretty much referred to it. And it kind of worked out, because I watched her as a little girl, and when she was a little girl, she played mommy, she played dress up, she had her dolls, and she cooked them imaginary food. She made them eat every single bit of it. And then when she got older, she was singing and dancing, and when she got to be a teenager, she was playing baseball and basketball. And so whatever doubts she had and whatever confidence I could instill in these little walks, I think it worked, and I think it paid off. And then one day, she told Jill, she said, hey, I want to bring the midshipmen home that I'm dating. And Jill says, hey, Bob, you need to be home tonight because Wendy's coming home, and she's bringing that midshipman that she's dating, and she wants to introduce you and me and Jill's mother, who was visiting. She wants to introduce you to him. I said, okay, great. So Wendy came home with Scott, and of course, we were very impressed with him. And we sat and chatted for a little bit, and then they went out with their friends to go out. And I kind of sort of knew that there was a really big up the street and down the alley talk that was just over the horizon. And time went by, and then Wendy said that she, her comfort zone in Maryland, she wanted to leave Maryland, and she wanted to travel 3,000 miles west of California. And by that time, I knew that there were no doubts to dispel. There was nothing I could say for any confidence or anything. I knew that Wendy and Scott loved each other, and wherever Scott was domiciled or stationed, that's where Wendy was going to call her home. And so our Maryland midshipman became an officer and a gentleman. Real proud part of my family. So that's what you became, Scott. And so we moved out here to California without any reservations at all. And then today, when we came to the top of the stairs, and of course it was a picture-perfect wedding. And she came downstairs, and I'm standing there with the bouquet. I was told, well, now you're supposed to hand the bouquet to her and make sure you do this. So Wendy came down, and I said, hey, Wendy, look, I really don't have anything to say other than I love you and you look great. But what do you say we take a little walk up the street and down the island? And so that's what I was saying to her. And so she held my arm, and we walked down and turned up the street, turned at that little circle we were told to turn at, and I walked her down the aisle. So that's what her dad did to us. So I walked my daughter down the aisle to one of the greatest guys I know, and I totally admire Scott, and without any doubt and any reservations at all by anybody that I know, I couldn't wait to, when the father asked me, who gives this man? I do. And without reservations, shook Scott's hand and turned my daughter over to him. So, without any further ado, because I don't think I could do any more, I'd like to have everybody raise their glasses and propose a toast to the bride and groom, Lieutenant Scott Clark and Wendy Clark.
So Bob, ladies and gentlemen, say it one more time.